Does she do sound healing in your massage?
I closed with it.
Yeah, she closed with
I
it.
closed with my chimes.
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And
This is true.
She finished strong.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa.
Easy. We got to keep those ethics.
I'm not that kind of massage therapist.
I didn't say it was a happy closing.
All right. We have Beverly in the house
right.
today with the shifting focus. Beverly was introduced to us from your dad,
That's right.
who does body work, and he knows how important
He receives body work.
Receives.
he receives body work. And
Body
your
work
dad
by
knows.
Bev, body work.
Bodywork
Babe.
Bev. Bodywork
Babe?
Bev.
Is it
It
Bodywork
used to be
Babe?
Bodywork Babe. It was actually Bodywork Beb, which is my Filipino name. But just we're in Northwest Florida. We're in the South.
Was it
can't
Light
have
Honey?
faith.
There's a bunch of different names out there for you.
Yes. So Light Honey is my sound healing band. So we do sound healing, energy work in group settings and private settings. So that's Light Honey. And then my massage brand is Bodywork Bev. And then my live painting, circus performance situation is Creations of Bev.
You're like a one-trick pony. You are not a one-trick
No,
pony.
I
you
am
do
a
a
12
bunch.
Yes.
Yeah, you do
I'm
a
a
lot.
mermaid too. And that's Swim with a Mermaid. So we do everything.
No way.
So those who don't realize it though, we just got out of massages.
Yes. Hence
From
the
Bev.
fuzzy eyes.
That's right. We've had a little time to fluff our faces back.
Yeah, it's crazy when you get in the massage and that neck rest thing leaves the
face cradle,
the
yes.
circle of dome.
Circle of dome.
The dome of.
Also, I don't do that either. No circle of doming.
Are you
be
guys
no
making a
dome.
head
There-
joke?
No dome.
Yeah, the second she grabbed my arm and she's like, "Feel how loose that is?" I was like,
No,
"That's
feel
what
how
she said."
tight. Feel how tight.
I'm pretty sure you said it's loose.
No, I didn't say loose. And
Oh,
that's
you're right.
and if
That'd be an
she's
insult. I'm
saying
sorry.
that,
It's not a compliment.
Right? That's her pickup. You like how loose that is?
you like how loose. Do you feel how loose that?
Oh, let me go get my friends. Guys, get in here.
What's really cool about Beverly's massages is that they hurt.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they feel good.
They feel so good.
Your body hurts.
Yeah.
I bring awareness into the space of where your body hurts.
Yes.
That's the accurate way.
You know, and that you've brought to our attention too. It's not like just getting a massage where you're like, you go in, they ask if you have any areas. So yeah, my neck is sore, and they focus on the neck. What you do, which I think is fascinating, is you're like, your head bone's connected to your ankle, which is connected to your knee. I'm gonna put an elbow in the knee. I'm gonna get on your back. I'm gonna do
Breathe through the three ribs
and you
into the sphincter.
yeah, and very rarely touch the neck. And but the neck is relieved. It's
The
amazing.
mula bandha, as they say in yoga.
Young
It's
mula
the
bandha?
butthole bandha.
Oh,
Easy.
It's where we
'cause
hold
supposed
the
to be
tension.
bonded.
You're
closed.
supposed to hold yourself through the mula bandha. You're supposed to keep that butthole tight.
I was just talking about this with somebody
Someone's
because it's
mula
wide
bandha?
open. Like when you're sitting,
It's
your
not wide
butthole's wide.
open.
Yes, it is. You don't even realize you're supposed to have like a little kegel, like a little tightening, just
so
a
you gotta
little.
keep it.
Mine's not open right now.
Is your how you doing like
But
a
is
butt
it-
kegel right now?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting.
Yeah, but your butthole's probably like
No, so it would fall out.
No, your rectum. Your rectum.
I'm thinking of my anus.
So your anus is tight enough to keep that poop in there.
yeah.
But your rectum, it is just
wide open.
I'm just saying.
Why was
you got
there
a mula bandha? I don't know. This is how the peristalsis of your colon works.
Yeah,
It's just a bunch of little fingers inside your colon. I don't know if you guys have looked at the colon.
it's a
I don't
fascinating
know if
sphincter.
you probably weren't around because it was while I was on the
Yeah.
table. She was telling me about her poop experience.
I almost became a hydrocolon therapist.
No
This
way.
is how fascinating.
like
with the colon.
colonics,
Yeah.
colonic stuff.
Yeah.
her
It's so
interview
fascinating.
process was the best.
I had to get a colonic for the interview to become a hydrocolon specialist.
And we want details. Tell us everything.
Okay, so it's like really interesting. The owner of this lymphatic facility, so it was a lymph specialized hydrocolon facility. So she had one person working for her, and she was working that day during my interview. So she's like, "Okay, why don't you experience a colonic to see if you want to do this for a job?" So
First time.
she's interviewing me, and her employee is giving me a colonic for an hour, and it was great. It was fine, but like while we're in the interview and she's giving me this colonic, I asked her like, "Okay, what are the worst things about this job? Like, this is the things I need to know."
Yeah, of course.
So she told me about this one time. She had this guy. He had a medical condition of some sort, and he was a little obese. So the speculum ejected.
For people that don't know what that is,
A speculum is on the hydrocolon device. They have like a funnel, a butt funnel. Basically, get it in there.
When you're doing butt chugs on the weekend.
When you're doing butt chugs, because it's good for your, your coffee coming into this tube. And then it was a really fancy setup. So they had a whole system that would take it away, but you could see through this glass case, so you could see what's coming out.
Yeah, I've seen those on TikTok.
Yeah, it was
It has
advanced.
like a tube.
Yeah, so
like
you
like
could
what
see
you would
what-
see at the bank, where like the tube was to go through the thing, right?
You're just watching your shit be pumped out.
And worms.
You just see
and
a
stuff.
toy soldier fly by. Real quick.
Jesus, what have you been eating?
Toy soldiers.
Jesus. Oh. Yeah. Well, anyway, so she had to send him to the bathroom to get the rest of it out, and then she had to clean up.
So like the thing came out and the poo was just spraying through the water all over the room, like a murder scene, like poo on the walls,
Yeah.
and that would
His
be
shit
that would be
everywhere.
awful.
His shit everywhere. And then, like he gets off the table and his mula banda is not tight. He
So he's
doesn't.
just.
Starts leaking.
just leaking.
How does that happen?
What do you mean?
How did
Too
she?
much
She
butt
just.
stuff in your life.
Well, no. Was it an error on the colonic person?
No, it's like his rectum just like does like his muscles around the rectum were prolonged too weak, so the water pressure was stronger than his rectum pressure.
Oh.
He
His
was
mula
an
banda.
overweight, unhealthy person, though.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like adipose is really soft and squishy, and it can't create tension like muscle mass can. And
true. He
the
has been
booty
doing
got a
his-
lot of adipose.
Need some more butt lifts.
Did you tell Beverly about our colonics at?
I did.
Rhythmia?
because we
It's like third world country colonics. It was
Yeah.
not.
They're like, see that
was
hole on the
not so
table? Like,
fancy.
sit on the table, scoot your butt all the way to the end of the table where there's a big hole, and then shove this tube in your butt.
That sounds dramatic. It was like an inch.
I know, it
you
was a
had to put
tiny-
it in yourself.
You had to like
Yeah.
sit your bottom down. Like, you know, when you're plugging in a vacuum and it has the out and the in and you have to like attach the vacuum. Imagine that, but on your butt. You're like sliding yourself
wait,
down.
wait, but is this like a disposable
Yeah.
Yeah.
speculum?
Yeah.
But,
And then, like,
okay,
as
'cause
you're-
if you're
The tube
putting
is
someone
tiny. It's like the
else's
size of a-
tube in your butt.
No, the tube's
like,
very tiny.
It's like the size of a straw.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. Like, it's filling up, and out of nowhere, you'll get the sensation to poop. And you're like, oh, and you push and just feel the flush go into that hole.
You're
that
pushing.
backed up
You're
against.
pushing. You feel the pressure on your abdomen, and then you're like, I think I have to have a bowel movement. So then you're pushing out while the tube is still in,
And then-
you're.
But wait, is it going back into the tube and
It's-
then the tube
it could be in the
back
tube.
in you?
So
Okay.
you're going. So as you're going, it's like sliding down this wall
It's like a water slide of
into a
poop.
bucket underneath.
Oh my god.
It was
Yeah,
Costa
it was-
Rica. So, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If that was our first experience with the colonics, and if that's what it's like, I don't think I want to do one ever again.
I think she's lying because I never went back, and you went back for another one.
I did go back because they recommended it.
She liked it.
And in ayahuasca,
She's
they
like,
tell
I was
you.
like, that was gross. She's like, yeah, I thought so too. I'm gonna go get another one.
But they were like, they were suggesting to do it during your journey because I didn't want
Yeah.
to poop myself. Everyone has these horror stories of pooping during ayahuasca.
I have heard.
But I'm not gonna lie. I think doing the colonics before my
Helps you not
ayahuasca
poo.
ceremony was worse because I was like the last time and I didn't get a chance to get all the water. You know, you still have to get that water out throughout the day because it's not like the one she's talking about where they suck the water out. You're responsible for
Vacuum.
dispersing the water.
It has a
vacuums.
reverse.
It does, so you can see it go through.
That sounds so unhealthy. Like you're gonna grab onto something,
Oh,
well, it's like a anyway. So
actually pull his sphincter out.
So during ayahuasca, it was like the most intense night, the last night we did, and I just was very uncomfortable. 'Cause
I knew
like,
when I was
I'm
gonna poop. I'd be like, I have to go to the restroom. I would just
Wow.
walk like a normal person.
but so you don't take all of it. It does not all come out.
All came
You're
out for me.
responsible to like.
You're responsible.
To,
You
like,
are
push it
responsible
out.
for the rest of your life.
This is a DIY colonic.
But like when you go to a professional, they suck it out for you, except for that guy.
I mean, most of it, but like most of the stuff that comes like out of like the upper colon,
Yeah.
like you'll get most of that out.
Yeah,
But like you're responsible for getting the last of it.
you'll have
out,
some
you know?
residual liquid.
I will tell
too.
you, I had to flush the toilet twice afterwards
I'm telling you, right?
because it filled.
Yeah.
I ain't never shit like that in my life.
Did you see anything come through the tube? Did you see any like worms or
Not
parasites?
worms.
Worms?
Have you seen those? You haven't seen that? They'll be like, oh, there's a worm, and it's this giant worm that passes
Well, it's
through
probably
the
someone
tube.
has a tapeworm that went there to see if that can help expedite.
It's very common in colonics to have worms and parasites
Okay.
pass through.
Yeah, see, I'm really glad
gonna
I
start
didn't
sending you
become a
some.
hydrocolon therapist.
I'll see
after all.
that part excites me. I'm like, I want to see it. I want to
I
dissect it.
like. I always said like. If I could just work on like skinny, healthy girls, I would be fine with colonics. Like it's not a prejudice. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a guy's butthole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My barber was a chick in Nashville, and she did I think, what was it? She did waxing, body waxing on
Yeah.
the side and laser hair. And she said the same thing. She's like, I won't do the guys. It's so much different. This big
She's
dude just
amazing.
sits down and just has a big hairy butthole. Like, nope.
Ugh.
Different lifestyle there.
I mean,
No offense. I'm a guy and I wouldn't want
Girls
to
just have a different sense of cleanliness. I think most girls.
Will you pull that
most, not-
dingleberry out for me?
yeah,
know what
pull
you're
that
thinking right now.
dingleberry out.
What you're thinking?
Can you wax that little piece I left?
That's right.
Behind the
Oh, I've been looking for that.
Toy soldier.
Oh, that toy soldier's stuck in there. Can you get that out?
That's my G.I. Joe back
oh
there.
my god!
I love how we went from massage to butt plug.
Yeah. Well, now the
No,
butt plug.
butt
I was
plug.
talking about actual toys.
Toy
I was talking about
soldier.
children's toys, not
Colonics.
adult toys.
Oh, I don't know. Never know with you.
Well, now that we're all the way to this point, let's back up. And what do you do?
Okay. Yes.
Do.
So,
Who are you and what do you
what
do?
do I do?
Tell us your story,
God.
Speaking
doo-doo.
of doo-doo.
Okay. So I'm Beverly Kennedy. I bless the world with my awesome joy. Just kidding.
We'll be back next week. Thank you.
Cut.
Yeah. So I do a really unique bodywork technique that I invented myself. And where am I supposed to be looking?
At us.
us.
We're just having a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
There's
Just
no
look at
cameras
it.
here.
There are so many cameras here, but just look at us and we'll fix it.
Okay. So this technique that I invented myself just originated from my fascination with massage. So I started doing body work at like 3 years old, came to America. And the oldest daughter in Filipino tradition is typically taught to work on the elders and to just help with everything. Oldest daughter is second mom, basically. So I started like walking on backs and like doing pedicures and foot massages for the babysitters so we can get a discount. So it's like my origin of body work and just being really interested in learning anatomy and learning my internal body.
Sorry. Sorry, I had to ruin it.
Had to ruin it. As I collect my thoughts, thank you for coughing. Yeah, so I spent my childhood in North Carolina in this like remote town that had an active KKK in it, actually. So even though I'm Filipino, that's broad enough to be discriminated against. So I didn't have like a lot of friends to play with, but I spent a lot of time in nature and a lot of time meditating and a lot of time inside my body. And so I had a completely different relationship with my body than other people around me. And I didn't even realize it. But until I got older and I started talking to people about like things I thought were normal in the body, and people would be like, you can't feel your blood from your heart to different areas of your body. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't? Like, if you think about your heart, you can't feel it pumping and feel a single blood cell like move somewhere in the body, or like you can't feel stagnancy in your arm and then like think about it and send blood there and then just feel it heal. Like that should be what we're all doing. And I honestly believe that's what people are supposed to be able to do to heal themselves. So these are just natural healing processes. So the principle of my work is what I call the pipeline principle, something I invented myself, that the body begins at the heart and the brain and moves down to the hands and the feet, moves back up to the heart and the brain. And if you just follow that, feel where there's a blockage, breathe into any of the blockages. You don't even have to fully understand where it's coming or where it's going. You just kind of breathe and notice, and then it dissipates. It's the most amazing thing. So it just goes on the natural homeostatic properties of the body to heal itself. But what makes my body work so unique is that when I touch people, I can feel the relation between the connective tissue. In the field of massage, a lot of people refer to this as myofascial release techniques. There's a specific trademark modality called myofascial release. So that's not what I practice, but that is what one of my mentors practiced, and he studied under the founder, John Barnes. But myofascial just refers to the relationship between the fascia, which is a connective tissue, and the muscle cell. So by understanding the relationships between these, like you were saying, like, oh, my neck hurts.
It's a good impression.
I'm trying.
You sound like my husband.
That's not.
My neck hurts.
It's all right.
Don't fight over me later.
It's fine. Not offended. I'll just cry myself to sleep later.
Catch us next week when we make impressions.
That's right.
Hi, I'm David. My ankle hurts.
Oh,
She's She does it every day. So it's not new.
Oh, so good. Yeah, so that's basically my technique. It's just understanding the unique relationship in each body and how the body changes and how the body interacts with each other. And then something else really unique about my technique is that I talk to my clients about their body during the session so that they can understand that. And I'm also talking to the nervous system so that it helps create these new neural pathways and your body can continue to heal.
Give an
off the
example
table.
what you're talking about. Because like you did it on us and it's
phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we'll do the neck. So a lot of people think about the neck, and they're like, oh, it hurts right here. Just work right there. But if you think about, especially like the back of the neck on the dominant hand, on the dominant arm side, it's being overworked because we're using the thumb and the index finger. So if you think about what is causing that tension in the neck, think about how the cervical spine comes down and engages with the grip of the thumb and index finger, and then understanding how the 3 support fingers relate to the thumb and index finger. So in order for your hand to grip like this, so you see the back of my hand, also how like rippling that is. Look at so beautiful. Let's see if I move these, you can see how it inserts across. So think of the hand kind of like a crocheted blanket. And if you build up tension in the fingers, it crawls up the wrist. So then that will be on the thumb side of the wrist because that's the dominant side. So in order to counterbalance that, a lot of people will build up this like radial tension right here. So you'll see like the bone sticking out and then the pinky side rolling in, which happens a lot on my hand because strong grip. And then you can even see the difference between your own right and left side, your dominant and support side. And then with the wrist becomes backed up, you'll see the cross section in the forearm here become backed up. So understanding how the function of the arm works too. So it's basically diagonal lines. If you just understand everything in the body as spirals, so see how this point here, it moves through, crosses through the bone here, comes through here, and then comes up here. And then the internal side of the elbow crosses through there, comes over here. And then you also have internal balancing muscle fibers here that go across. So then if you think about a cross-section like this and a cross-section like this, and that basically just creates this blockage in the wrist. So you notice how like I'll grab your forearm or your wrist and I'll take your index finger and do this. And a lot of people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Trying to break my hand. I
Because
told you
feel
work
the
on my
bone.
neck.
You're like, yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. They're like, why are you working on my hand? I told you my neck. Like, just wait. It'll get there. And then we do the chainsaws.
Yeah, I was
of
hoping
the
you would
upper
talk
elbow.
about the chainsaws.
Yeah, that's a signature move. That's a proprietary move. You other massage therapists better not steal it from me. I'm just kidding. You can. You can try.
I'm just kidding, but I'll fucking kill you. With a
The
chainsaw.
I'll chainsaw you.
The chainsaw, literally, like I love pain in a massage. I always tell the massage therapist, go harder, go deeper. And they're never deep or hard enough. With you, I have to tell you, I'm like, ow. I even told you the first time, I was like, that's enough. I've never uttered those words during body work ever in my
And
life.
today I said I'll go medium.
yeah, bullshit, you went medium.
I did go medium.
I know, because I didn't cry. I could feel to me, I was like, okay, that's enough. But I like, and it's instant sweat, and I know you're doing good work, and it's, I understand that those areas of tension need to be released because doing Reiki and understanding, but you go into a deeper level that's just mind blowing. But explain the chainsaw.
Yes, so the chainsaw points. Typically, for most people around the elbow, I'll hit 3 main points. So the front, back, and middle point of the upper elbow. So you'll see that that's the first one I hit in the front. There's the middle one, and then there's the internal one. And the internal one hurts the worst.
It's the
right,
worst,
guys?
and you save it for last. I don't know why. Like,
because it's the softest part. Like, this is the part that you use most often, which is why. Sorry, this is the part that you use most often, which is why it doesn't hurt as much because it has more mass, right? And this back one hurts so much because it's like smaller and
It's not as protected.
it's not as protected, and it's up near the inner crest of the elbow, so that the nerve is kind of more exposed.
On the opposite side of the weenus.
On the weenus.
On the
yeah.
weenus.
On the internal weenus.
The internal weenus that you're not supposed to feel, but you feel.
We all have an internal weenus.
Yeah.
No.
Some of us have two.
I have.
No, we all have two.
Yeah.
Some of us
Unless you
have
have an
three.
amputation.
Yeah, you might.
Amputated lives matter.
Or born
Yeah.
without.
Or armless lives matter.
Can people get their weenuses amputated by itself?
The weenus amputated by itself. You mean just remove the weenus and leave the rest?
I guess you just have to do a skin graft off
It'd
your
be kind of
elbow.
weird. I don't know. Where would you put it? Where would be somewhere in your body you don't want to have feeling?
You'd put your weenus on your penis.
You want to have feeling
You'd
on
switch them. You put your penis on your elbow. and
So
your
you just
weenus.
sit there rubbing your elbow all day long?
Hey guys, just nudging people. Is that your dick?
That's
you
like
sure you wanna be on this
direct
podcast?
nerve pain.
And pleasure.
No,
Help me, please. I have to live with this creature.
I'm fine with it. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine.
my ankle.
So what made you really?
I was
Shade.
using this weenus on you earlier.
That's right. Weenus. You were rubbing your weenus all over me.
I usually do rub my weenus on people.
So what made you get into this professionally or actually as an occupation? Obviously you started as a kid and you were interested, but what brought it to an actual job?
get really dark for a second here.
Do it.
Okay.
Okay. So, I was going to be a web designer, guys. I was certified in web design at 14.
So Filipino.
So Filipino. Yeah. I got to be in tech.
It's either
I
that
either
or
going to be a
graphic
nurse or a graphic designer, you know.
Nurse, yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you not a nurse?
Why did you do an Asian accent?
Okay. Why you not nurse?
Why are you not a nurse?
Yeah. You disappoint family.
That's what I was waiting for
Yes.
right there.
Okay, there.
You disappoint family. You bring shame to family. That's what my mom always says, but it's fine.
We'll talk about it another
We're
time.
American now, so I'm allowed to be.
Disappointment.
I'm allowed to be free.
That's right.
My relatives in the Philippines legit like think I'm a celebrity. It's so funny. Like they're like, oh, like you're like famous, right? Like you're
Now
so
they see
cool.
this.
Like they see, they're they see this, they're like, we don't even have HD cameras. Like, look at you. I don't even know what I'm saying. Sorry,
Yeah.
relatives.
Your accent's
My-
going Indian again.
I know I'm the worst Filipino if I try.
She was trying to do her mom's accent. She's like, why do you know that? I'm like,
I literally was speaking Indian. In my defense, my mom was impersonating an Indian person the other day.
Was
so,
she? So that's
yes.
probably the most recent.
Yeah,
voice
so
in your
it was
head.
just mixing together.
Yeah.
so how'd you get
understand.
started from web
Anyway.
design?
Anyway, so I was certified in web design at 14, and so I was so sure that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And like I was saying earlier, I started bodywork at 3, and I just did that like culturally, like in my family. And then when I was in middle school, I started doing web design. So I certified at 14, my freshman year in high school, and then I like graduated with like a Google AdWords certification and like all this stuff. And I was so ready to be a web designer. I was at UCF, and I got in a gun accident where I shot a gun for the first time. And I thought it'd be like Resident Evil, playing PlayStation 2, or like paintballing.
So you're acting a fool with a gun
I was
in your
acting a
hand?
fool with a real gun. Like my friends had a real gun, and it was at a house party. And they're like, it was a going away party for one of our friends.
It was
and
almost a real going away party.
Oh,
sounds
it was
like.
almost, yeah. So it was like, there were 3 Asians in our group. It was me, this other girl, and this guy, and he was moving. So they're like, and I was like sad because I'm like, we're going to break up the Asian trifecta. We're like the 3 Asians of the group. You can't move. And so they're like,
So you shot one of them.
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Sounds like a joke star. 3 Asians walk into a house party, right?
And
One
none of them
leaves.
can shoot. Yes. One of them, no.
And it was you.
It was a really big party too, but so they had like 2 houses next door to each other, and so they were like, Bev, like, let's go shoot these guns. Like the Asian trifecta has to have a special going away party. So it was like the people who lived at the house next door, me, the other Asian girl, and the Asian guy. And I'm holding the gun and I'm about to shoot, and the guy's like, Bev, use 2 hands. And I see it in slow motion. My hand just comes up. I'm like, oh no. And
And you were shooting?
the slider came back and slit my tendon
On your thumb, yeah.
on my thumb. So yeah, it was really bad. So it split my tendon, and I was bleeding everywhere. And then
That's common for people who don't hold the right grip.
yeah,
It racks back so quick, and
Yeah.
out of nowhere, you're just pouring blood.
and it
Oh
is
my
not like a paintball gun, guys. Let me tell you,
No, it's a couple
Nope.
pieces of metal just slicing.
I have not shot a gun since.
We'll change that.
I don't. Nope, I don't even need it. Someone trained me in archery.
We're gonna get you a Nerf
we have
gun.
that too.
We have 3 compound bows in the garage.
I'm
Shout out to Kelly Dunn.
I'm down to
Okay.
to be.
We'll get you a Nerf
Katniss.
gun. That thing won't slice you.
Listen,
Get you some
that's
suction
great.
cups.
Let me tell you though, with archery, that band can come back and smack the shit out of your forearm. So just know you.
We have a guard you can put
Yeah,
on.
you can put a guard on it. I did that once. I was like,
So
Yeah.
from you tearing your thumb apart, what happened next?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in my second semester of college. I had one semester
do you have
down.
to have surgery, or do they have to like attach it, or what'd you do?
Oh, I
Go to the
did have
hospital?
to get surgery, but they couldn't fit me in to get surgery for several weeks. So this whole thing healed over my hand. Okay, so this is where it gets dark, guys. This is where it gets really dark. Okay, so an alumni of my school, he had already found me actually. So 2 months before my injury, he had keyword search found me online by searching for Asian, under 5 feet, under 100 pounds.
You can move it back if you need to. Just
Yeah,
grab
I
out
just
of-
adjust
grab
it
the
probably
however
bottom.
you
shouldn't.
need. No, you're fine.
Jut my face into it.
So he was doing a
Awesome.
fetish Google and you
Yes,
popped
a
up.
Google search, and he found me, and he's like, "She's perfect."
So
Ew.
Asian under 5 foot.
Asian, under 5 foot, under 100 pounds, into web design. Like, yes, this is it. And he started grooming me. So at first he was my mentor. And when I got in this gun accident, he offered to let me stay at his house because my roommate's situation was really bad. My roommate was I couldn't wash dishes because I had injury on my hand, right?
So you put everything in the sink.
And I would pay someone to come. Yes. I would pay someone to come every 3 days and do my dishes. And my roommate would take the dishes out of the sink if I didn't get them done. Like if she noticed them and she knew I was having someone come and clean them, but she would take them out of the sink and put them in my bathroom sink or put them on my bed.
Who is this? The
My
person.
roommate.
The roommate.
Is
my
this the
roommate.
person grooming?
No. So it
You-
was a bad situation at my house. So my mentor from my college, who had graduated for web design from UCF, he offered to let me stay at his house. And I was in his garage for 8 months where he was like drugging me, withholding food, basically telling me that like, I mean, he told me so much about the world, and like it's so interesting because it's like the worst thing that ever happened to me, but it's also such a core part of who I am. Like he taught me all about genetically modified food. He taught me so much about the true nature of our American government.
Sounds very Charles Manson.
Oh, it was very, and you know, like I know he's still out there believing like the end of the world is nigh and cell phone towers are gonna kill us, and like there's certain levels of truth to so much of what he said, but like to the point of where you're literally gonna take away someone's freedom directly right now by holding them in your garage. Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of being educated on the conspiracies of the world or what could be the worst things in the world if you're going to be taking away someone's freedom in that moment,
Right.
or like taking away their happiness, or like, I mean, just it's just such a complicated thing because there's like we all want, even just as a health and wellness person, like I'm always so careful about not projecting my beliefs on other people, you know, especially since I went through this experience. But anyway, being in a garage for 8 months,
Were you able to go to school, or did he like lock you in there?
well, because of the medications they gave me for my hand, I took medical leave from school. And I was on these, like, they gave me 60 hydrocodone, no, 60 tramadol, 60 hydrocodone,
Oof.
30 Percocet in a 2-month window. And it, like, I basically got an opioid addiction.
You think?
It's easy.
Good Lord.
And I was also, like, the UCF psychiatry department also prescribed me Adderall and Klonopin, and they also wanted me to take an antidepressant, and I didn't take the antidepressant. I think it was like Prozac or something, but yeah, like Adderall is like a extreme upper because it's basically meth, and then Klonopin is like a extreme downer. So like those two together, it's why do they do this?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
One to counteract the other. They think they're helping.
yeah, I don't know. It's like
And
I
then,
try to live mostly
yeah.
naturally and
And all the black box warnings on antidepressants are may cause suicidal thoughts.
may cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah. So this guy had you locked up in the garage.
Well, okay,
Ish.
so locked-ish. There's no windows. It's fluorescent lights. He basically like, so for the first 3 months, I was on all these drugs, like the painkillers, and then recovering from the surgery. And he took my Adderall prescription from me, and he gave me cocaine every day. and told me it was Israeli Adderall. So it was pure Adderall without all the fillers. Like he had me eating out of the palm of his hand. I was bleeding everything out of his mouth. And he would play Alex Jones 20 hours a day. I'm telling you.
They're turning the frogs gay.
They're turning the frogs gay. So if you hear Alex Jones 20 hours a day, like you basically lose your mind, and I will be a testimony to that. I mean, just like different conspiracy radio for like that. It basically, he held me prisoner with my own Stockholm Syndrome mind.
Yeah.
Like the door was right there, but like for the first 3 or 4 months, I couldn't drive because of all the drugs. And then it took me like another 2 months just to wane off of the opioid addiction.
Did he help you with that, or is that something you just kind of took?
I
upon
mean,
yourself?
I had to do it because they weren't giving me any more painkillers.
Was
Let
it
me
hard?
tell you, at that point, I would have been.
Legit sounds like modern day Charles Manson. Like that's
Was it
what
really
he was
hard?
running at the ranch.
Was it really hard to purge from the opioids?
Oh
Was
yeah,
that
like it
something-
was so hard, and like just being in such a weird, like physical state of my physical body because he was also withholding food. So I was like down to 80 pounds. I'm like 100 pounds right now. And sleep deprivation because he had fluorescent lighting. There was no natural lighting, and he only slept 4 hours. So
my
the lights in the
gosh.
garage were on 20 hours a day, and if he was awake, there was conspiracy radio on. So it was like, it's basically torture. It was basically torture.
Goodness gracious!
know, it was
and you weren't
crazy.
in the right headspace to even recognize it. I'm sure.
No, it was just so much, and I was 18 years old. So it was just perfect way to
Yeah.
escape being a web designer. Thank God. Only because being a massage therapist is so amazing. So dark story turns bright. I like being in that room, being basically bedridden for 8 months. My back hurt, and then I started trading massage with friends, and realized that I was really good. So then after 2 years, my mom and I'm like traveling around I went up to Canada and like different places, and I'm just like massaging and living in people's like closets as like a hippie. Like my mom's like, what is happening? So she met my teacher, and she sponsored me through massage school. So that's how I became a massage therapist. Long story.
Nice.
Long rounded story. It was so weirdly enough, I became a massage therapist through kidnapping, and now I help free people of the confines of their own mind. and
How did you
perception.
get into? So you had a mentor that taught you a lot of stuff, that mind-body connection.
Yes.
What about that made him the mentor? What was his style that you thought
Okay,
you're
so-
my teacher?
Joel Mitchell, who was on Instagram as Renegade Bodywork. That's how I first saw him, through Instagram, and he had a lot of mutual friends with me. So I'd always see his stuff and see my friends sharing. And we are part of this nonprofit for suicide prevention called Gulf Therapy that's out in Santa Rosa Beach. And so I just felt like he was a really safe person. And he wasn't my original massage teacher. I went to massage school in Fort Walton, and my teacher had passed. And I had this gap for like a year or 2 years where I didn't have a mentor. And I just think it's really important for young people in their profession and even just in life to have mentors, have people they can talk to and look up to and like get feedback from, you know, safe people, professional people, skilled people. But he is just like such an incredible person, not just in massage, but he trained directly under John Barnes, who was the founder of myofascial release, and he was a part of the movement for like 12 years. And I don't want to speak on his behalf, because I don't like speaking. Oh my God, I keep doing that.
I do it all the time.
I don't like speaking on other people's behalf, but kind of overall on CEs, it is kind of culty, and even in CE, it's so everything's a cult.
What's
Everything. So continue education.
Okay.
So when you specialize in a modality, like for people to be like, my modality is the best, or like how you were saying, what are you looking for? I'm just gonna work on whatever my protocol is.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of therapists will do that. And something really unique about Joel's technique when he broke away from myofascial release, he still has all of that knowledge under his belt, but he broke away from fascial release and focused on trauma release. So I think like probably the last like 5 years of his massage practice was focusing on trauma relief, and he would do this close on body work where he would just place hands. So I do like this deep trigger point release technique, which is not what he would do. He would straight up like hold you in a position and like maybe only do that one spot for the whole hour. But you would feel how that one spot is connected to everything in the body.
Wow.
So learning with him changed my practice completely, and it opened up my perception of what body work is. Because before that, I learned Swedish and deep tissue in massage school, and like maybe I would learn some other protocols and stuff, but it was still very much like, this is your expectation as a massage therapist. This is what you're allowed to do. This is what's in your scope of practice. This is what you shouldn't do. And Joel was just like, do what you want to do. You have something special and unique. Like, you don't have to do what I do. And it was more like an empowerment practice. And we're both huge believers in psilocybin as well. So that is definitely a huge factor in our own individual awarenesses. And like I was saying this to you earlier, like when you're looking for a massage therapist, first ask like what they love about massage versus like what modality they practice, because someone's interest in anatomy is going to be so much more determining on whether or not you get a good session, you know, because eventually I think this is true about like any industry. Like if you are working for the outcome of finances, you're going to get something very different than if you are doing the work because you love the work and the finances are a byproduct.
It's so true. I could not agree with you more.
Yeah.
And I think being intentional with what you do, whatever you do in the world, if you have the intention to help people, it's a game changer. People always ask us that same thing. Like, how are you guys so successful in the business? Like, what advice could you give people? It's just be a good person, really. I mean, just have the best interest of the client, no matter what that looks like. And if it's money you're chasing, good luck. You know, that's temporary. Yeah. But the money flows when the intention's clear. Does that make sense?
It does.
Makes sense. You know what I mean? It's beautiful.
Plus, like, if you do it for the money, then you will find ways to spend the money and spend the money. And then you need more money just so you can spend the money.
Yep. And of course you need money. Like it's an energetic exchange. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, like if this is a gift, why are you charging people? Well, it's an energy exchange. Yeah. It's my time. I'm not charging. Like I run into that sometimes through Reiki. I don't know if you do, or people are like, well, if it's such a
honestly,
thing.
that's why I have never really pursued Reiki as a business. Like I have the most training in Reiki for any continuing education under massage therapy. And yet I don't really do many just Reiki sessions. I do Reiki in every session, but I don't do just Reiki because I hate that. Or getting the client that books you just to prove that Reiki isn't real.
Yeah, I love it. Because I'm come at me. Let's go. You'll be crying on my table in 10 minutes.
So I'll send those people to you.
Send them to me. I love it. I love the challenge because it's like you're up against spirit and you can't challenge spirit. You know, you're challenging a part of yourself through me. Really? But I'm going to give it back to you.
I guess like the way I hit a wall with it is that like you're challenging your own spirit. Like I'm not here to be your personal growth. And like the thing with massage, it's like it's very like kind of linear. I mean, obviously with the awareness work I do, you're going to get more out of the session the more you can sense and respond in relaxation in the body. But like that just triggers me if people come to me to prove to me that
it's not real.
That it's not real. Like, why are you paying $120 to prove that something's not real?
You know,
you could just hate me from the privacy of your own bedroom.
But I guess I'll take your money.
It's interesting too, David and I, and this is not supposed to come across sacrilegious by any means. I always love the hypocrisy behind religion versus the gifts. It's like, I'm not a devil worshiper. I'm not a witch.
This area.
I don't do things that are going to call on demons and hurt your soul. Like it's not me. And if you know me, you know that's never my intention. But some people are like, is this devil worshiping? Is this satanic? And we went into his sister. We went to church with her. last couple weeks ago for Christmas, and we showed up, and people are at the front praying over each other, and they have their hands on each other, and they're freaking doing Reiki in church. So under the umbrella of church, putting your hands and praying on people and sending love and healing and using the gift that way is okay. But outside the walls of church, it's considered satanic. I just didn't.
It's so weird.
I don't understand how. And this is another thing. This is nothing against Christianity, because from a spiritual standpoint, it's beautiful. It's in my mind, it's the religion that's tainted the whole aspect of what it is. The business, the business aspect of it, I think, has made it's just, I don't know. People are missing the point, but that's my own belief. Anyway, going back. They're like, it's witchcraft. It's Reiki's witchcraft. But yet you sit there and you drink the blood of Christ. And
I know, like the most occult background.
Eat the body of Christ.
Well,
it's like, okay, hang on a second. So it's okay as long as it's okay here, but it's not okay. I can't understand. And this is very rare. I very rarely have clients that speak up around it, because most of my clients, they're
Obviously,
open. They're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's referral, and they're like, wow, this is like 10 hours of therapy in 30 minutes, so
get it done.
yeah. But I just, every now and then I'll run into somebody who gets that uncomfortable guilt. Like, am I doing something that's not religious? And am I breaking the rules? Am I going to hell for this? So I didn't know if maybe you ran into that at all through massage, or what you do.
Fortunately, not necessarily with massage, because again, it's like a very linear left brain thing. And with the popularity of massage in the last like 20 years in America, it's just not, that just doesn't really happen. But with yoga, sound healing, and
yoga is satanic, right? Or witchcraft.
Yeah, it's the positions will invite the devil into your body. Yeah, I had one client.
Maybe true to some of those positions.
Oh my gosh, not the Karma Sutra. We're not talking.
My husband's a perv.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm a Filipino, so let me tell you, the jokes hit.
Downward dog.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Woof, woof.
Not doggy style, downward dog.
I was gonna say, like, if you guys can do that's pretty skilled.
Downward dog sex position.
You just get a running start and jump up.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
It is terrifying. Okay, you're gonna be that. I'm gonna run and jump.
You're 5'1" on a good day.
Into the butthole.
Yeah, I'll find something. I'll run. Your turn. Tell me how it feels.
I don't want to have one of those. What were we saying about the leaky butt earlier?
Leaky butt. You need to keep your
circle.
Malabunda open.
Malabunda.
I mean
Keep the
Malibu. Wait, Malibu.
We're talking about Malibu now.
Keep the butthole open, because I'm running.
I forgot the word now.
The mandula oblongata.
No, wrong one.
Mandela.
Malabanda.
Cowabunga.
Your malabanda is
Keep
open.
your Malabanda open, baby. We're about to downward dog that booty hole.
This is going.
It's a
Scaredy
team
cat.
effort. Oh god.
Get those things out of here.
Oh my god, so funny.
All right, so back to yoga.
Oh yeah, so
Double
I
yoga.
was working at the Fresh Market like 10 years ago, and I had this client, not even a client because I'm a freaking a cashier.
Yeah.
But she's like, I've got to share. You're a hippie girl. I just gotta make sure you know the word of God. Like, can we meet up? So I'm like, and she's like, I will take you to Panera Bread. And I'm like,
Sold.
Let's go, Bits. I love Panera Bread. So we meet up at Panera Bread, and she comes with this like Bible cover she sewed for me and a gift card to Barnes & Noble so I can buy my own Bible. I'm like, sweet ass lady, man.
You bought a different book, didn't you?
No, I still have that Bible. I got the waterproof Bible. Nice. I've got the
awesome.
Bible. I've got the Quran. I've got so many different yoga books. I believe that I want to learn as much as possible about human history, and that includes all the world religions.
I agree.
And my personal belief system is, how could any one belief system encompass something that is literally bigger than us? Like, as a scientist, like, the macroverse is hard to be defined by a microverse within the macroverse, right? Like, imagine our gut biome defining our reality, where they're like, oh, our host, like, we're God to our gut biome, right? And like, imagine the gut biome trying to conceive how we perceive reality. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, all it sees is shits. So all we see is shit. We have no idea what is really happening above and beyond. But if you look at many religions, you can see common denominators.
Yes.
And you can also see in history how people have used religion to subjugate each other, especially women and children and poor. And you can see how people in positions of power in religions have used their position to get a unfair amount of resources within their geography. You know, like these are things that we can't deny. And whether or not I just refuse to believe that anyone is better than anyone else because of a predetermining birth scenario, a cultural scenario,
I agree.
or that anyone can be damned because they have a different belief system. It just doesn't make sense. Like, be accountable for your own behavior and
Stop touching little boys.
I mean,
And
yeah,
little
that-
girls too.
Yeah, but mainly the altar boys.
Yeah. But I feel like, you know,
You got to
however,
keep their voices high.
whatever terminology you want to pin it as, you know, when you're worshiping, there's Holy Spirit, that feel. I don't know if you've ever felt that, you know,
Yeah,
where
and
you're
like I believe in God.
Me
I
too.
believe in like, and it just seems ridiculous to me to define something that you feel like is bigger than you by any terms or preconceptions of your cultural narrative. It just
Right.
doesn't. It just. I'm like, this is obviously bigger than me. I'm like a tiny little speck. How can I define the whole existence or reality of something that's
Meaning of
bigger?
life.
But under this umbrella, that exact same feeling can be this. But if you move to the culture and you have that exact feeling, it's it goes against everything. So it's like there has to be different religions to fit different cultures, maybe. But at the end of the day, it's the same God.
Yeah.
And for people to say you're going to this location or this location because you don't believe similar things, or you're going to be murdered, or it's like I can't
We're
wrap my
literally
head around.
killing people
Yeah.
over believing something different. Can you imagine?
In the Bible,
Still
the
happening today.
one thing in the Bible over and over and over is love, and love. But we miss it. We miss it because we
And
go
it's
right
the
to
same
judge.
thing in the Quran too.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like it's so easy to take the extremes in any group and then make them a blanket statement stereotype.
I watched a full debate between heavy Christian believers with the Bible and then two of the lead prominent Muslims in the world. And they sat down on Patrick Bet-David's podcast and discussed the differences in culture. And the Islamic guys straight up said that if you are a part of Islam and you leave, you should be murdered. It's in the Quran, and I believe it to this day. And one of the guys was like, I'm a Christian now, and I used to live in Iran as a Muslim. Do you think I should be murdered? He goes, in Sharia law, if you were still in Iran, I believe you should be executed. Yes, like straight to his face. And then the Christians were like, that's not okay. And then the Muslims had a good comeback where they're like, you think it's okay because of the New Testament. The Old Testament almost said verbatim the same thing if you leave Christianity. Are you saying that God made a mistake on the first book and humans changed it? Is God thinking you should die or not? It's true. You're like, wait, did God mess up on the Old Testament? Why do we have a New Testament? I know that we are changing as a society, but it
Well, the
raises a lot of
Old
questions.
Testament is just the Hebrew Bible, and the New Testament is a product of the Roman Catholic.
Yeah, but they've changed a lot
Same
in
God.
stuff like that, where it's
Yeah.
like, we don't think you should be murdered anymore. It's like, yeah, but did God make a mistake the first time?
Well, I mean, I just think back then we just murdered a lot more.
Yeah, that's
know?
kind of what they said. Like, yeah, times have changed. She's like, yeah,
Times
but
have changed.
so
You could
God's-
murder someone for stealing an apple back then.
Mhm. Yeah, well, shouldn't have stole the apple. That's what I say.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I think that vigilantism should be a thing. I
That's
think
right.
if you rape someone,
Bring back Batman.
your dad should be able to kill them.
Yeah.
I mean, did I say that right?
No, try again.
If-
Yes, you said it right.
If
Oh, wait.
someone rapes your
someone-
daughter,
Yes.
you should be able to kill them.
We got what you meant, but that would have been really messed
Yes.
up if you meant the
No,
first one.
don't. If your daughter kill
If
her.
you're a rapper, your dad should
That's
kill
the
the people
thing.
you.
There's too much leeway these days. Like, we're not making examples. Why are we filling people up in a prison system?
Oh.
It
So
seems
they-
awful.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, but that's a
Off with
double
your head.
entendre with you because that's my belief. You are more like give people a second chance and figure
people
it out.
deserve forgiveness, of course. I think
I think if
people
there's a
can make a
child rapist,
mistake.
they should be buried under the railroad tracks.
my only thoughts behind that, and I do not disagree with child rapists, is usually the
You don't
people who
disagree
are.
with child rapists?
I don't disagree with you on the child
Oh,
rapist.
okay.
part.
Yes, to clear.
But I feel, let me clarify. But I feel like most people who do that were molested themselves. And so it's like getting people the right help to maybe work through the psychology of it first. And then if
And
you
then
go out
kill
and you
them.
then you kill them. Yeah.
yeah.
But I was gonna say say, obviously, if it's hurt people, the cycle has to stop
It
eventually.
has to stop.
So if you just kill the hurt people, then, you know.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
back when I used to be more sad and depressed and dealt with feelings of suicide, because I dealt with a lot of trauma and pain, I used to think the only way out would be death. Like, and
It's
look how
not.
happy I am. So second chances are possible.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I never someone, okay? And let me
Right.
tell you, I've got a lot of trauma. Have I murdered anyone? Have I anyone? No. And I
just do the chainsaw.
I just do the chainsaw. You know, if I wasn't a deep tissue massage therapist, maybe I would have killed someone.
This is your
Chainsaw
outlet.
massacre.
It
This is her way.
It's my
You make
therapy
people
house.
cry and you go, yes.
Dude, actually, did you hear? Was it with you or with you? But I think I popped your toe or your finger, and I went.
It was me.
You did? Oh, I didn't hear that.
And they both. I think. I don't know, if I get a good crack though, I
Yeah,
usually
she
will.
like got excited out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a sexual thing.
That was
No,
definitely
it's
rape.
No.
We've had the
She
talk
pulled my
like
finger.
if something happened to our niece, like say somebody was hit by a drunk driver, is it my place to hate them if they kill somebody? Like, no, I would want to be like, hey, you really made a mistake. Like, go get help, and I forgive you, and I love you. I don't want to ruin somebody else's life because they've ruined my life.
But
you
that's
know?
a different instance in like aggressive kidnapping and
But that
versus
happens
a
a
drunk
lot.
driver hits somebody.
People want to get even. I mean, I'm still wanting to get even with the hospital after my dad's death. I don't feel like I'm like there's that animalistic thing in you that's
Well,
like
that's
I'm
the
coming
big
for you.
system, big pharma that you got to beef with, which most people in the
Yeah.
country
Yeah.
that are
You know.
right-minded should.
There's so much wrong with our medical industry.
Which is why we love natural.
Yeah,
I think this is a way to-
preventative healthcare,
Yes.
and that's the thing about my technique is that it is more rooted in empowering your body to do the things that it's supposed to do. Like the reason why massage itself is effective is just because it brings your awareness into spaces in the body where you've basically atrophied, where you're not getting oxygen, you're not getting nerve flow. And so all of the functions connected to that point aren't going to be functioning appropriately. And most people too, like they think like, oh, I'm sore here. Like I need to like I need to like get movement in here so it's less sore. But it's actually, you are sore there so that your brain can reach your awareness so that you start moving there because it's starting to impede the function of the organs that have blood pathways through that area.
Interesting.
So like think about like, okay, for blood to get to your kidney, it has to pass through certain areas. And if you have all of your shoulder to rib cage tension is so tight, it's blocking those capillaries. So now you have 60% blood flow to your kidney. Do you think it's going to be working appropriately? No. And then what will happen is the connective tissue around the surface of the kidney has less oxygen. So then it calcifies. So those knots you feel on the surface of the skin that hit the chainsaw, you can develop those around your organs.
Wow.
So when we talk about like adipose or being overweight, like it's not just the way you look. You're literally depriving your organs of oxygen, and it just backs up into all of these other illnesses that can become a byproduct of that. And then to understand also diabetes, what diabetes is, and like how your hormones regulate your blood sugar, and what lactic acid is, which is basically blood sugar in an anaerobic state. So, which means like massage can help with precursors for diabetes. Massage can help with improving organ function, with vitality of the entire body, obviously with the cardiovascular system, and it can help with the nervous system by rewiring new neural pathways. So like even having an injury, like even if you are in the acute phase and you can't work directly on the injury site, I can work with people like post-operation to increase the circulation around the other areas.
That's awesome.
And then that improves the blood flow and keeps the blood flowing near the injury, but also improves the lymphatic system. So now you're draining the lymphatic system, so now your body can actually recover faster. You can improve recovery speed through massage. There's just so many levels of preventative medicine.
And eat well and move your body and work out.
Yeah.
What was the
Drink
thing you were
water.
telling me after the first massage about lactic acid and why people feel like they're
Oh yeah,
drugged
you
when they
get
get out?
drunk on your own sauce. You're literally drunk on your own sauce. So basically,
The way you broke that down was so cool.
yeah, it's so fascinating. So I was like, I was studying an additional CE, and they were talking about lactic acid, and I was just thinking about it. I'm like, oh wow, basically, we make our own alcohol inside our body. And when you get off the table from a really good massage and you feel drunk, you're actually drunk because lactic acid. It's like a buzzword, but people don't really know what it is. It's
Buzzword.
just yeah, you're getting buzzed on your own stuff.
That's great.
It's just the sugar molecules that are waiting to be bound with oxygen in the mitochondria. Basically, if you don't get blood flow, you don't get oxygen to the cell, right? So then that sugar is just fermenting inside that cell and then eventually spills out into the nearby cells. And it's just like with kombucha where you have you have a starter. So then you just have hundreds of cells producing this lactic acid like in a pocket or a bundle. So then when a massage therapist crunches on it and you're like, that's lactic acid.
It's a perfect
And it's,
example.
And then it excretes into the body, the bloodstream,
yes.
and then,
then it
you're
goes
hammered.
straight to your brain from the inside, and you're drunk on your own
You're like,
sauce.
Look
It's
up
so
that.
funny.
Look up the 1980s clip from what's that bodybuilding movie again? Pumping Iron with Arnold. Where I think when bodybuilders get the pump, they're sending that lactic acid, and that's why Arnold says, "I love the pump. It feels so good. It makes me feel like I'm coming. So I'm coming at home. I'm coming at the gym." He has this whole hilarious breakdown.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
"It's the greatest feeling in the
Yeah, it
world." That's
feels
why
so-
they're
it's like-
addicted to lifting weights
yeah.
because they are just sending the lactic acid out like crazy.
Just feels
All through the
good.
muscles are blowing up.
I don't even lift, bro.
Do you even lift, bro?
You know the quotes though.
I do.
Don't skip leg day.
Do you have any advice for people getting massages or some things that you think this is how you look for the right massage therapist, besides, of course, asking them why they're doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that is the number one thing I think when you are looking for a dedicated massage therapist. And when I say dedicated, so like basically if you're traveling, that's going to be a one-off massage therapist. But like if you're in your hometown and you're looking for a dedicated massage therapist, you want someone that's going to be dedicated to you. So you want someone that is interested in their work, but also interested in you. Eye contact is a really big like first thing for energy worker or massage therapist. Like the connection point is definitely going to be number one. So obviously having a connection to your own intuition would be the first thing I'd say. Like work with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you are completely new to massage, like it is controversial, but there's nothing wrong with going to a box chain like Massage Envy or Hand and Stone, or going to a spa, like a hotel spa or whatever. But if you really want something that is going to be effective, results-oriented massage is going to be the best thing. Basically, you want a therapist that's going to do a consultation with you and will engage with your body based on the consultation, So I always recommend getting on the phone with a therapist. Like if I'm booking with someone, unless I have a referral from someone else, like I will call and I'll do even just like a 3-minute phone interview, because you can find everything I just said out in 3 minutes. Like have a conversation with them. Like, all right, cool. But most of my people find me through referrals. I'm mostly a referral only therapist, or I'm at Awakening Wellness Spa, which is amazing. It's an organic spa. It's really cute. I work with all these older ladies. It's just like all these 50-year-old ladies and me, which I feel so humbled. Like they're all extremely skilled. So I'm like, yeah, they're all like 20 plus years experience. And I'm like just shy of 10, which just tells you how good I am. Yay.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you know that she went and did Alex and Bobby?
You've done massages on them too?
Yeah. I mean,
She
I
gave
did
me the
Alex
best,
before.
She gave me the best quote from Bobby, because Bobby's never experienced her.
Oh, yeah. He
Oh,
said,
what'd he
this
say?
is not what I would book for myself
After he, did
he
it,
likes this.
while I'm doing it.
he said, "This is not what I would have booked for myself."
Yeah. But I was like, oh, so you're saying you don't like it? And he's like, no, I like it. I'm just saying, like, this is not what I would book. Like
People think they want to go and just get relaxed, but then you leave and you feel the same. You're relaxed for an hour.
Well, a lot of people do like that, and that's
Sure.
fine.
I like it sometimes too, but I also want to be relaxed for the next 10 years. I don't want to just be relaxed for that 1 hour.
But
I wanna
most
do the
people
work.
don't know that massage is actually a health treatment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think of it only as Swedish, whereas
Spa
relaxation.
treatment, relax,
Mm-hmm.
put my
body
robe
work.
on and walk
Yeah.
out and sit in the salt
Yeah,
bath
that's what I
after.
did. I came out in my bathrobe and I'm like, "Do you want me to be clothed?" And she's like, "Whatever the fuck you want. I'm gonna beat your ass in 2
I'm gonna-
seconds."
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it was awesome.
In the first few sessions, like a lot of the time, it's over the sheets anyway because I'm hitting those trigger points, and you do not want
No.
skin to skin contact.
No, I'm sorry, but I
you
don't.
want. A lot of the times, I don't know if you've noticed, but I will take the sheet and I will double fold it so that you get like four
you.
layers of
Thank you.
cloth. Especially when it's like the shin.
It
Look at that
hurts.
solid bone right there. I know.
There was one point
Yes.
in the massage where I'm like, okay, I know she's on my back. Like she's on all fours on my back. And when it
When
starts
she's
to
using her knee on your back of your tricep.
you have a knee and you have an elbow, but somehow you got fingers here. And it's like when the elbow starts to get really excruciating, you shift the weight into the knee. And so then all of a sudden this part that was starting to feel painful, I don't even think about it anymore because now this is painful, but this is the part you're working on. It's fascinating. I don't know how else to explain it to other people who haven't really experienced Beverly, but
it's not it's not massage.
and then you start sweating and you're like, okay, just breathe. But the first time, and even this time too, I recognized, and I don't know if you can relate, but as you're doing it, I could feel my body. I know when I would tense, like I would feel that sense of uncomfortability and I would tense up, and it was easier to like recognize it the second time.
Yeah.
And so I think the more we work together, as I start to feel pain in my everyday life, it'll be like I'll be more aware of it. And this time instead of just on the table,
And then you'll be able to get more results with less pressure. Or be able to take more pressure with
You shut your mouth.
with less tension. Oh my gosh.
You shut your mouth.
Don't make me put an elbow. Don't make me put a weenus.
She's going to drop the people's elbow on you again.
The people's weenus.
What do you wish people knew before going into massage therapy? Like things that
Specifically to her or just massage in general?
Massage
maybe
in
in general.
general.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah.
What if you could give some tips of advice to customers going to get massages? What would you tell people that you wish they would know, like etiquette or
I guess, or like,
Yeah, etiquette would be a good one.
etiquette. Like, please fucking shower.
Yeah, what are some awful things that you've experienced? That's
We
like,
wanna know these
Okay,
things.
like I really don't want to come across as a fat shaming person because I've already made 2 comments. But listen, did you know about fat cheese?
there's like a cottage cheese duck butter that slides out when you hit a fat
okay,
spot.
y'all are gonna make me uncomfortable.
Okay, listen, if some people they can it has such a pungent smell.
Don't. That's just not. Maybe
I
go to
can't
the next topic.
imagine what the taste is. But
You put it on your toast in the
when
morning.
I worked at Massage MB for my first 2 years as a massage therapist, I had to cut my teeth at Massage MB. I had someone come in. I got my first cheese experience.
What do you mean? This is real?
This is a real thing, girl.
Is this all? Is this a blanket fat people thing, or
No,
is
no,
this
no.
just
This
certain
is
people
this
who
is
haven't?
certain people who are overweight to the extent where they can't reach in between the folds to clean themselves.
Like
and they-
foreskin, like body foreskin.
Yeah, like body
Body
flaps.
foreskin.
So especially the back flaps over here. If you're so obese that you have back flaps and you can't reach in between the flaps,
Yeah, you need a flap scrubber.
or you don't have like like if you're not figuring it out. And I know plenty of people who are just like heftier people who have good hygiene and they figure it out. But this one lady, she did not figure it out.
So hygiene is key.
And hygiene is key.
Uh-huh.
I slid my hands. I don't know why I thought, because I should have just went over the mounds, but I was just like, there's so many
You
folds.
got your thumbs in it, didn't you?
I got my hand through it because I just thought, I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't know. I wasn't taught how to
It probably
handle
felt
that much.
so good to her. You probably scratched an itch that she hadn't had.
She had literal cheese, so I'm pretty sure it felt good to her. She
saying.
needed that cheese out.
She had that back gonorrhea.
And then what happened?
When I got through, I noticed the cheese, girl. And in these massage envy rooms,
Ugh,
there's
I'm not getting
nothing
the
else
chills.
in it. So I just took the sheet and wiped my hand with the sheet. And then there was some hand sanitizers, like sanitize my hand. Then I still had to finish that massage. I had 30 minutes left, and it was so gross.
I'm so sorry.
It was so gross. And then dirty feet. You feet fungus ass motherfucker is like, I am sorry. Like, you need to treat your feet. Also, I don't think people realize you can get different diseases from foot infections. Like, you can get like heart disease. You can get like worms in your gut through your feet.
Get a hookworm.
This is why in third world countries, you know, like they're talking about giving shoes out and like how important shoes are. Like, it's disgusting.
Haven't you heard the theory of why people in the South have a slow draw, some of the real slow ones? It's because of the hookworm. They'd get a disease in their foot and it would
affects
cause
your
everything,
brain.
and it slowed everything down. So people with real slow draws, it was like, now it's a lineage of like genetics that started with the hookworm infection through the foot
From walking barefoot.
from walking barefoot.
So hygiene
Hygiene is number one.
take care of your foot fungus.
Yeah, just like be clean when you go on massage. Even I mean, sports massage at a triathlon, like, or at the beach. I get it. Like, you're gonna be a little sweaty,
Yeah,
stinky.
if you're
Like,
trying to get stretched out between something.
yeah, that's different. But especially if you're going in for a Swedish or a body treatment, just be clean before you go. And if you go to a hotel spa, they usually will have a locker room that has like showers or hot tubs and stuff. So that is a good thing
that helps. I'm sure.
about spas. And just like for picking one, like, what do you want to get out of the session? You know, if you want results, if you want to feel good after, I recommend picking an independent practitioner who has their own business, because that means that they are dedicated enough to manage that and successful enough to keep it running. But if you want a full spectrum experience, like going to a hotel spa is really good. And typically, especially in our area, they're really skilled for the most part, because they're better paying employment jobs versus like Massage Envy or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, oh God, disgusting.
What else?
What's the craziest thing that's happened to your weirdest?
Wait, we're still on this question.
Yeah, we're still on this one. Yeah.
We got to make sure we hit all the
Etiquette.
dots. Yeah. Etiquette. Oh my God. If you do go to an establishment, do not moan or groan or cuss loudly. I had one client.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, it was actually a husband and wife, and I had one the day before, and then her husband came in the next day, and both of them were loud. She's like, and they're like, ah! Sorry. Touched it. She's like, just like, fuck. Yeah, like that. And
You're like, people
they're-
are going to think we're fucking in here.
Yeah,
Shut
and
up.
you're like, if
Literally.
it's so hot, just tell me to lighten the pressure.
and I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, it's just like, no, it's so good. I'm sorry.
And I moan today. Sorry.
Well, but this is your house. If you're a moaner, book a house call. Like, don't go to the concierge.
Yeah.
Don't go. If you're going into an establishment, figure out how to reel it in or tell them less pressure. But that's my lesson for next time, because like I thought it's funny, and I do a lot of concierge, so like I'm used to it. But the therapist next door, her client was like, what is going on in there?
I'll have what she's having.
Exactly. And then like the other therapist like kind of complained to the owner and was just like what was going on in there? Like blah blah. And they were like,
You're not in control of that. I mean, I guess kind of, but
Well,
you're not. Like you can't.
They told me next time just to make sure to tell them like, hey, like if you can't control your volume, I'm going to have to backpedal my pressure, because
there
they
you
want
go.
the deep pressure.
Yeah.
And it didn't faze me at all. Like I'm just like, yeah, you can't even hold it in, you bitch.
You like that?
You like that?
And I called myself a little bitch on the table. I'm like, sorry, I'm a little bitch. She's like, you're a little bitch. Breathe it. Breathe. Breathe here.
You're going to take it.
I know, she does.
It just makes me excited.
Pressure. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm the same. When I do Reiki and people cry, it's the highlight, because as you know, it's all stored energy. And we, as humans, we store all that crap. You don't even know you're doing it, which to me, in my opinion, I think that's where disease starts and cancer builds up. It's all this repressed old stuff, dis-ease, and you have to get it up. You got to bring it up to come out.
Yeah.
And so I love what you do.
Yeah.
What other etiquette is there?
Do you? Oh,
Be under the sheet when I get back here. Don't be standing on the side
Oh my
of the table.
God. You know, I've had some people get undressed
And stand there, say, I'm ready.
and lay down naked on top of the blanket. I'm not even kidding you. Like multiple people.
They don't get under?
Do you tell
No.
them though, like just get under the
Well,
sheet and-
now I do. It took me 3 years as a massage therapist. And so some people are like probably feel like, why does she over explain?
you just assume they knew.
Yes. So
you
now
can't
like
anymore.
I like fold. I have like the
this is
normal
awkward.
fold, and then like when I leave the room, I usually take the sheet and I go, and you can undress to your level of comfort and lay down face down underneath the sheet, and like I do like a whole
Charade.
You walk
motion.
in, there's just dick and
I'm a
balls
flight
out.
attendant.
You're like, ah.
yeah. I see your whole scrotum.
Yeah,
so
I'm not
gonna
massaging
step
that.
out,
Mhm.
and like they don't mean to, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, like how like did you
Confident,
think?
huh?
Yeah.
Did you? Why did
Do you
think
prefer
that?
clients when you say get down to your comfort? Do you care? Do you have a preference? Like, do you prefer people to have undies or be like shorts?
Honestly,
or full booty
my
undies?
preference is to do clothes on body work
Mm-hmm.
because it is the most discreet. So if I have to move the sheet around, like for example, when I have you face up and I say breathe into the belly,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do that leg rotation, if you have clothes on, I can do that whole leg rotation and not have to balance the sheet.
I
right?
see. Yeah, yeah. So you,
know?
don't let the cooch lip fly out.
Exactly. And then I can work on
You just said cooch lip.
I did. I was hoping you'd say something.
I can work on like, so basically the erogenous zones, like here's the crotch area, and the erogenous zone is like the mid thigh. So I will not work like this area, the erogenous zone at all if you are undressed, but I will work up into the groin if you are dressed. If there's certain things that
know.
you need
It's like
to work
with
on.
shorts. That'd probably be good for you on your hips.
I prefer clothes on body work, and again, like that's how I trained with my mentor.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago. Yeah, and I just also no products, no sheets. That cuts my overhead. So like personally, that's really great. But at the end of the day, I'm working underneath your skin on your muscles, right? So it's like your clothes aren't getting in the way. The sheets aren't getting in the way. I'm working underneath there anyway. But if we're doing blended, so I basically break it down into two different techniques. Blended, which is when I use products and then I bring all my different styles. And that also integrates like more Reiki because with the body product, you have more energy moving through, which I was gonna say which you could take, but you can't do that if you don't have a massage license in Florida. But I mean, you can do whatever you want as long as they don't report you.
baby. This
Yeah,
is the Wild
this is
West.
Florida.
This is fucking Florida.
You can do anything.
Oh, I can't drop F-bombs, right? You get
Of course
blocked
you
on
can.
YouTube.
You can just
Just the first 30 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah.
screw you, YouTube. Just kidding. Don't block us.
Now we're blocked.
Don't.
Demonetized.
He already said earlier. So
Yeah, you
can't-
did.
You can't say that word.
Yeah, I talked about killing rapists.
Yeah, good luck. YouTube wants you to keep the rapist on there.
Yeah. I've been saying rape ceremony.
Rape. That is a
Rape.
ceremony.
Yeah, with tobacco.
Yes.
Rape
But
is-
we've been calling, me and my friends have been calling rape.
Oh, rape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That poor person was raped the other day.
Okay, we're gonna.
Because it like also makes it funnier and like sometimes it's easier to talk about traumatic things.
You're
if
right.
they're-
It's hilarious.
No, but no, rape isn't hilarious. But rape is
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
Give him a good rapping.
See, it just makes it.
Well, I'm
makes
the
it
wrong
more
person
okay.
to talk to. Everything is okay and hilarious
Yeah.
to me.
Nothing is too sacred for
Yeah,
jokes.
nothing's
Okay.
off
Yeah,
limits.
same.
Well, we were talking about trauma, and it just got like so deep and heavy. And her boyfriend was there, and like
You
he
raped him.
hadn't had like I could tell it was a harder conversation for him to be present for, and I just brought some comedy into it by like calling it rape ceremony, and then it like birthed the rape ceremony joke. But also, it's like on social media and like all these other platforms, you're not allowed to say the actual word
Yeah.
anymore.
I know.
So
You're
now,
silenced.
now you can say rape ceremony, guys. If you ever
rape.
need to.
A rape ceremony.
This might offend some people who do rape or hape ceremony, but you know what?
Oh, we're talking about the real rape now.
Yeah.
Now she's talking about the real rape.
Yeah.
This might offend some of you rapeists out there.
Yeah.
Rapeist.
Rapeist.
A rapeist.
Like, it's sacred, so don't rape it.
I'm gonna rip a band-aid off,
Okay.
and please speak very openly around it.
Okay.
Even if let's talk about tipping.
Oh, tipping.
Tipping
on this-
massage therapist.
Yeah.
Is it something that you feel would be etiquette? Is it something that is not necessarily expected, required? What's optional? What's
We
the
tip
10, 15, 20%? Is it different if you go to a facility versus if you do an in-home? Let's unpack that a little bit so people can.
Honestly, my preference in my private practice is I give a flat rate. And if people want to tip me on top of that because that's their belief system, that is up to them. But I personally think that massage as an industry can move forward into the realm of preventative healthcare if it is not a tip service. And I think that I think this about food industry too, food and spa industry. Businesses get away with underpaying their employees and not necessarily giving them benefits.
Yeah.
By putting it onto the customer. So if you
Brilliant business.
Yeah, like a lot of these spas, they pay their therapists 40%. So you're going in there and paying $210 and the therapist is getting 40 something dollars. So if you don't tip them, they're not really making enough to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So if you're going to a spa, that's another thing. Like you do have to tip them. But in my private practice, I don't expect tips, especially with clients that buy packages or see me on a regular basis. Or I have a lot of people that are just middle-class people. Like it's really hard for them to afford $175 or $120 or even $100.
Yeah.
Like, so it's,
That's why they go to Oriental Massage for $40 with a foot rub at the end.
I know. Like I do have some friends, like I have a high school friend, she'll come to my house and like I give her a special rate of like $80 flat. Cash though, you can't Venmo me. It can't be traced by the government, And I've known her since I was 14.
And she's coming to you.
She's coming to my house. My
Does she
son
bring-
is
Does she
there.
bring cheese with her?
Ew, no, she's very skinny. Okay, sorry.
She's like, I'm skinny preferred, as she puts
Skinny.
in her bio. For
Oh my
massage.
god, like I'm actually not.
What's your client wish list? Not fat.
Like not fat and female. Okay, like,
That's right.
Skinny white females.
like, you don't
There are
necessarily
plenty
have
around
to be
here.
pretty, but like that's
It
a bonus.
helps. We'll do face down if you're not the whole time.
Oh, I do face down almost the whole time.
Yeah.
I generally, so like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but like, I generally do the same side for the entire session for an hour session because as soon as you flip, you lose all the relaxation for that you built on for that entire session. So like traditionally, this is how an hour of massage works for Swedish. It's 50 minutes hands-on, 5 minutes for consultation and getting dressed before and after. So that's the legal massage in Florida.
So when people think hour and they're like, it's only 50 minutes for the actual rub, that's just how it is.
That's legally what it is. And again, spas influence that in the industry. If you notice that with my house calls, I generally will give you 70 minutes for an hour because I'm bad at my timing. That's what you should get a house call, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's like 30 minutes face down and then 20 minutes face up. That's generally how they do it. But if you notice with mine, like I'll do like 55 minutes face down and then like 5 minutes face up. Or and then the next time I'll say like let's start face up or like do most of face up if you're ready for it yet. First few sessions,
What's
a
face
lot
up?
of stuff.
Should I be scared?
What do you mean?
What's
You
face
didn't do
up?
face up at all?
A little bit today.
Just a little bit today. Last time she didn't get any.
Yeah.
She's
got
got a lot
face
of
up
back
today.
tension. Yeah.
I gotta carry this booty. Booty's heavy.
Yeah, you do got a lot of booty.
I've been
That's a
trying to
fact.
get her shrunken down.
Fine. You
Because
can
she's
just
fat.
implant her over here.
Girl,
There's
I
never
will-
too much booty.
I will
okay?
happily.
Don't you dare get rid of that thing.
And just
Yes.
she needs to be lifted and back because now she's like
know?
a heart.
Well,
she used to be
A heart sounds great.
She used to be like this bubbly little bubble.
You
Now
got
she's
that
like,
garage with dumbbells.
you know what? You're not allowed to talk to me about it. You know this.
Got that spin bike.
You know,
I just bought a spin bike.
you can just put on some dirty ass rap music. Just twerk it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta shake it.
You ever
City
hear your own
girls.
ass clap? That is how you know.
I
That's
can't
how
do
you
that.
know you've done it.
I need some real hood friends. I need to know how to act.
This thing can
Friend,
clap.
right.
You can clap it?
No,
What do you
she
mean?
can't.
Yes, I can.
Like,
Sometimes
with the muscles
accidental.
themselves.
I'm working on the double muscle clap, but I can clap it. I can make it clap.
Like not are you like shaking it or
Shaking
like
it.
or
Shaking
like
it.
you
I'd like to get the muscles where I can like
yeah, because you
clap
seen
that booty.
that.
Yes.
I thought that's what you
There are
meant.
some girls on TikTok that do like lessons. It seems because it's like, I can flex each cheek and I could do that.
Yeah.
But when you're just like,
Yeah, where they're going.
the sad thing is sometimes when I sit down, I hear it clap and I'm like, ooh, that's not a good clap. That's a fat clap.
That's a fat clap.
That's a fat clap.
With the PH. Fat
clap.
She's fat.
With 2 P's.
Oh, yes.
Do you have questions? I'm sorry, I'm bulldozing.
No,
a lot
I'm
of them.
enjoying this.
Yeah.
The
This
fat because I have more.
Oh, do you?
her
I
pinch
like
pad.
2 more.
Heck
What
yeah.
what's the future aspirations with everything you're doing right now? Do you want to spread the knowledge? What's next for you going forward?
I want to spread them cheeks.
Spread them cheeks.
The cheese.
Oh
Don't
God,
spread
I don't
the
want to
cheese.
spread the cheese. I want to collect the back fat from every American and make soap.
Ooh.
Fight Club.
That would have been a great part of this conversation if you're like, wait a second, you pull out a giant jar. You're like, I've been collecting it
Oh my
right on the table.
David.
Or I bust out the bar soap and I'm like available on fatsoap.com. THAT.
Is this why people don't like blue cheese?
SOAP.
Because now it's about to be ruined.
This is made from all of my customers.
Ugh,
Blue cheese
I
is
love blue cheese.
disgusting.
Oh, I love. There's the thing, people. You either love blue cheese or you hate it. I love it.
You probably like back fat.
I probably
then.
would. I like stinky
You like
things,
cheesy back cheese.
but I'm not like into stinky cheeses other than blue cheese, like brie, like certain
I
things that are
like a
like real.
brie.
See, just think of the back fat as brie cheese. Back
Brie
brie.
cheese?
It's actually
brie.
like yellow.
Like a cyst, like a popped cyst.
Like curdled pus.
I'm about to barf.
Curdled
Yeah.
pus sounds awful.
It's the name of your new soap
You're gonna
company.
make some poutine. Have you seen poutine?
Yeah.
You know about poutine?
Yeah,
There's a
poutine.
back fat poutine.
I think curdled pus flavor would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, what's the future aspirations?
Anyway,
for you?
yeah,
What are your goals? What
Yeah.
can people
Talk
look
about the
forward to?
aspirations,
Aspirations.
not the perspirating asses.
I do like one of my dreams is to open a company called Pointless Products where I sell completely pointless products. Like this soap can be one.
There you go.
This is like Elon Musk. He did
You
it.
know, I want to make holy spoons. It's
What
like
are
a
holy
dream of mine.
It's just an empty circle.
It's
You
a
just pick
it's
up
a
nothing.
it's a spoon that has holes in it so that you can serve soup to guests, and they're like you have to have like vegetables or noodles and stuff in that soup. So they're eating it and they don't know why. They're not getting any soup.
Instead of holes, why isn't the whole thing just a hole? And it's just a handle with a giant hole in the end of it.
Was
Oh
it
my
like
gosh.
scooping up boiled eggs?
No,
That's
because it has to hold the solids.
Yeah.
But
It has
that
to be a
kind of has.
whole
But then that
leaf.
makes it have a point. You should make it pointless, so nothing gets picked up.
That's true.
Well, the point is that they're eating the soup and they don't realize it at first. You know, like you need a moment to savor the pointlessness of it. You know.
Yeah, like a good gag gift. Like here's a
Yeah.
holy spoon.
Yes. And then the other thing I want to sell on Pointless Products is jarred farts called Taste the Rainbow.
Didn't
So-
that girl from OnlyFans?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's my
Made
inspiration.
like $1 million in a month from selling
jarred farts. But you know those
But-
Listerine power packs? Do you remember the Listerine strips? I want to figure out how to like make one of those to put in the jar and then fart in the jar.
They minty fart.
And then
you
they
can eat
eat
it?
the fart. How gross.
Like an absorbent
You know, there's an audience. For
There is
it.
an audience for that.
sheet that just takes it in.
Yes.
What
that,
color is the sheet? Is it brown?
It's rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
And you put it on your tongue and it dissolves.
And it
and you
dissolves.
taste
And you
ass.
taste
And
a
you
fart.
taste my ass.
The
Yes.
ass eating community will go wild.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And like the joke is, I didn't even fart in there, dude. Like, there's nothing. You're an idiot.
It's like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina flavored
Her vagina
candles.
can-
Scooped you.
Not vagina flavored. I think it was vagina scented.
Yeah, well, what's the difference between scent and
No.
flavor?
I don't know. She's not like squirting.
Because
in
you
these.
don't like lick it.
Some
Yeah.
people might.
Some people might have
That's
actually.
that.
Gwyneth Paltrow sells candles that are vagina scented. People are just
Have you
lighting them in
heard
their
of this?
houses.
No,
Went
but
crazy a couple years ago.
no.
Everyone's like, "What does it smell like?" It smells like I don't know. What did it smell like? Did you ever take a whiff?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like clean pussy or like dirty pussy?
Right, there
I
is a
think
difference.
what if there was multiples, like post-workout
Post-workout
Post shower.
Some guys like the post-workout smell. Some guys are like the post-workoutist mostest, the
Oh
better.
my gosh. Okay, well, I don't know
Some
if
guys
pointless
like
products
that.
will happen, but on a realistic note,
Yeah, you just did your vision board. What are some things that are on there for you?
yeah, for 2024, I just want to like enjoy life more. I'm a kind of a workaholic. I want to get more life skills, more earth skills. I want to learn carpentry this year, so I'm talking to one of my friends about trading body work for apprenticeship in carpentry. So that's
Cool.
interesting.
What
But
do you want to do
fun.
with carpentry?
well, one of my life goals is to live in a sustainable community. So I really want to live on a sustainable community in a farm. And like I have been researching this for like the last 10 years of my life. And it's just like the biggest thing with sustainable communities is the people, like it really breaks down into power struggles. So in order for a community to be successful in longevity, they have to have really good bylaws. So that is the main thing that I've been researching and that I can bring to table for a sustainable community is my interest in the patterns of human nature and how to bypass the greed, basically.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is when everybody starts fresh and then they put bylaws in and then slowly power and control starts coming in and then all of a sudden it can steamroll back to regular society.
Exactly. Like you have to have an awareness of human nature so that you can create real social democracy, so that you can create preventative measures and that you can identify red flags as they develop and create progressive bylaws and create adaptability in the bylaws so that future generations can create modulations on those laws based on how culture changes, but still has preservation for the principles of which the community was built upon.
Yeah.
So like the sustainable community in Tennessee called The Farm, they are the oldest sustainable community in the United States and they were built on midwifery. So they've been around for 50 years. They have 200 people living there. But in my experience and talking to a lot of the people there is a definite social division of like the nobility class of the founding people and the people who have money.
It's just natural.
And then the hippies who moved up and like they're doing a lot of the hard labor on the land and they're like the hands-on movement of actual projects, but like they don't own anything of what they're building and working on. And then the people who have the money aren't doing any of the work, but they own everything. And it creates...
Sounds like every day.
Sounds like the United States.
Today,
exactly, right? And so that's why I believe like my main thing with making a sustainable community is really understanding the principles behind what currency is, what energy currency is, what energy exchanges are, and how to just use these to make sure that like the people who are most fundamental in creating physical results on the land still have something to show for it and still have something to give their children. Because if this guy is giving you all your crops and he has nothing to show for it except for that daily bread, or like getting to live on the land, like what's the point? And like it's hard to pay him an American salary, but like there's ways to create these fungible currency systems so that you can have people working on the land. You can just have ways of the system to create insular movement and to still use the American currency system. So like if I lived in a community, my job would be human resources and I would be a part of a council of people creating bylaws to create social democracy within the community and how it engages as a sustainable economic business practice of agrotourism, or how to bring like small businesses power within the community, resources, power, and efficiency within the community. But I would still be a massage therapist and I would go out and I would get income, and I would bring that income in and I would understand that I'd have to pay a certain amount for my membership to the community and that 10% can go towards building things on the land, or it can go towards paying the farmer a amount of American dollars, because he's still going to need to leave the land and go buy things. Like if you
Right,
have
yeah.
someone who's a full-time farmer on the land and he's in charge of making all that food, then like he needs to be paid a certain fair salary.
That's
and
not happening in Tennessee at the farm.
they don't have a system like that, which means they don't have farm fresh food. They're called the farm and they're not a farm. Like
Where are they getting their food?
people are responsible for themselves. It's basically
Wow.
not a sustainable community.
Got
It
it.
is an incorporated trust.
I see.
And that's how like they basically became a community, like a Christian cult for like pro-life basically. So that's like how they were created. It's like if you are pregnant and you can come here and give birth and you can leave the baby if you want, or you can take the baby and go, like whatever. Like they were just like a really pro-life camp. And then the owner like basically inspired a bunch of trust fund kids to like donate all of their money.
Oh wow.
So like that
Oh,
guy
is
is
this
the
it?
founder.
Founded in 1971.
Yeah.
Where in Tennessee is it? I wonder.
It's in Summertown.
Southern Middle.
I'm gonna be going
What? 4,000 acres?
I'm gonna be going to a festival they're having there.
What is it?
It's called the Sanctuary Summit, and it's with Rising Appalachia.
Let me know. I'll go with you.
Yeah, you should for sure come.
Now open
Adam's
to
coming.
visitors.
I still love the farm. It's just, like there's the festival. Yay.
What do they do at this festival?
So it's like world music, earth skills, midwifery.
What's midwifery?
So they basically just do like a workshop talking about
midwife.
about midwives, doulas, and also death doulas is the next
love
factor
death
of what they're
doulas.
moving into. So it's really amazing. And
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm talking down on the farm. These are just real topics.
Yeah,
when you start to
course.
talk about sustainability and sustainable communities.
Human issues and how it turns into a business at the end of the day also.
Yeah.
You
And
got to
if
be
you're
10
looking-
steps ahead so you know when things are changing in culture.
Exactly. And
And
I
if you're
think
looking to do it-
having a business mindset
You have to.
can be really, because again, like with the farm, like the founder, he was like the guy in charge and he just had everyone donate, and then he had all the power, and then they had a council made, but it's only the people who have power who are in charge of the council. Does that mean they have the best education or concepts for how to move the whole project forward? No. But I think that a really progressive community can say like, okay, this guy does deserve X amount of votes because he does have this much more money.
Cool.
It's really interesting because they have a lot of segments and it's such a huge property. And they did use a lot of that trust fund money to just buy a ton of the acres, and then they created a trust, which means
Yeah, it's
that
almost 2,000 acres.
4,000 it said at the top.
1750.
Go back to the main page.
You were saying?
they
The
bought a
trust.
bunch of land with the trust and basically put it in a protection act called the conservation. I forget what it was called, but they basically protected all that land. So they bought it private, and now it cannot ever be sold to subsidize water or oil
It's awesome.
companies. Yeah, over 4,000 contiguous acres
The
owned
farm is
by.
located on 1750 acres. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That one.
4,000 is the cumulative of all of the nonprofits in the area. And
Wow.
this is also seems like they have someone new doing their website. This
looks
is definitely
good, right?
updated. Yeah.
What kind of stuff you got on the table here
What do you-
behind you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I've got these different sound healing instruments, which is another leg of my wellness practice. I usually go by light honey, especially if I'm playing with a group or publicly. But I also just like to dick around, just to have fun. I think sound healing is one of the oldest healing tools and one of the biggest connecting points for humanity, because like music is our shared history. Music
What kind
is
of
our-
benefits could sound healing provide to people?
I mean, there's many different benefits, and it really affects everyone differently. It's kind of an adaptogen, an emotional energy adaptogen, and sound healing can be different for different people. Like someone might listen to metal music and think like, this is relaxing for me. And another person hears metal music and they're like, oh, this is satanic, I can't. Someone might see Cardi B and be like, dang girl, clap that. That's healing my heart right now. And then another person's like, that's satanic. But generally, sound healing instruments are played in a way that is melodic, open notes, and it just is soothing. So through meditation, whether it's sound healing or just like breath work practices, it gets you into a state of relaxation where your nervous system can come into a state of zero in areas where you normally are compressing or contracting subconsciously or building up reflex subconscious tension in the body. So this just helps bring you into a more harmonious state between your mind, body, and spirit.
I like it.
Well said.
Have different instruments. So this is a jaw harp. This is from Vietnam. Oh. Can you hear
Cool.
it? I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those
Me
in person.
either.
I've just heard the sound.
Yeah. So
That's really cool.
she's really fun. I got this
cool.
from Evan from Dirtwire. It's one of my favorite bands. He is an incredible musician, and I got to take a jaw harp workshop from him this summer. This summer. It's not years yet. For my 30th birthday. This is a shaker from Ghana. So typically, I'll play it like that, or a softer note, or I'll just go like that with my hand. Or if I have like multiple shakers, I'll shake it really aggressively. I won't do that because the mics are sensitive. And this is a tongue drum. So this is a really special one called an idiopan. And what makes this brand unique is that they have a magnet underneath the tongue. So this is a tunable tongue drum. So most tongue drums or hand pans that you see on the market are handcrafted. And if you drop them, they are out of tune forever. And there's like almost nothing you can do.
Oh, no.
Unless like you have a maker who can somehow fix it. But these are great because it has that tongue. I still don't recommend dropping it, but you can tune one idiopan to sound many different ways. So this is a small size. I have some bigger ones too.
You can see. Yeah, pull it all the way back.
There we go. Yeah. I think that
It's really pretty. I could
hard,
see how it would
it's
take
hard to hear what it sounds like without.
Yeah, you can take your headphone off.
Okay, good. It's like it's more. There's more
Yeah,
clarity.
you're getting like the reverb because it's not pointed right at it on the
you. Yeah.
mic. It's directional, so
Yeah.
unless you're pointing at it.
It's so pretty. I could see how that would take you on a journey if you were really, I feel like your sound, it is sound journey, right? So you start people into something, you build up, you let them have that emotional.
And I think that's a big difference between a sound journey, a sound bath.
Point the mic.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
A sound journey, a sound bath, and sound healing. And I mean, there's gonna be, again, it's the Wild West. People can do whatever they want nowadays, but for my own practice, I define sound healing as understanding what an individual's needs are and what they're looking to get out of sound therapy, what their contraindications are, and providing a session based on their individual needs.
Sure.
That's sound therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you go and do a public setting, I feel like that's sound healing, but it's not necessarily sound therapy because you're not going with one person's needs. But I bring sound therapy into my public journeys by doing this opening ceremony, by asking what their intention is, and then blending a public journey based on a common denominator of everyone's needs, you know, and like, and just communication, you know, like a consultation makes all the difference. A sound bath is generally like you only play one instrument. It's usually singing bowls. That's what I define as a sound bath, when it's just singing bowls or one instrument like playing the ngoni, or if I just like play the idiopan. I don't know why I'm listing single instruments,
That's
but
okay.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if it's just one thing, I feel like that's a bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then a journey is when you have different elements, when you bring in the different elements of music so that you have like a climax, when you use different tools to bring their bodies into highs and lows, and there's going to be sounds that are uncomfortable. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the biggest part of what makes something a journey, because if you don't have any uncomfortable points, it's not really a journey. You're not hitting those cry points like
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you ever tap your sound bowls into the different chakras through Reiki? Like when you're doing the sound bowl healing, do you imagine, like A is a certain chakra, and when you're playing it, do you ever have your clients focus in on that point within the body to help them move the blockage through?
In sound therapy sessions, I'm more likely to do placements.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily prescribe to the belief system that any one note is coordinated to a specific chakra
Yeah.
that a lot of companies do, or they'll, like I know that in the practice of understanding chakras, we like to assign a color to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we understand like how a rainbow works, like your root chakra is down here, yes, represented by red, but it resonates. And it's the meeting of the yellow and the red that creates the orange. So they're all affecting each other.
I agree.
It's like a nuance, So like when people are like, "Oh, I played like the heart chakra bowl," I'm like, "Oh, did it stay in the heart chakra?"
Yeah, it does. And sometimes when you're hitting a certain tune, you're like, this doesn't feel like the throat chakra. This is obviously the root. You can feel it. Like sometimes it's real intense.
And like and it's understanding that your throat and your root might be fucking if you're feeling your throat, if you're feeling
Right.
your throat
Yeah.
bowl in your yoni, you might have some trouble
Right.
vocalizing your needs
Right.
in the root chakra.
It's trippy, isn't it? I love it.
Like things are connected. Like if you feel your sacral when you're hitting that root bowl, you might be not having confidence in experiencing the sensations of the real world around you, and might be too tied into like being grounded.
Your butthole might be open.
Your malabunda.
Malibu.
Malabanda.
Will you show this one to David that you did earlier?
The singing.
Oh,
give
it
it to
was
me.
really cool.
I was gonna ask you to reach it because I didn't want to.
I'll reach it.
Okay.
Did you see her with us earlier when she came in the room?
Why does it make like a squiggly
I know.
noise?
I don't know. It's the rubber
I like
band.
it, though.
I know. That's a wild trick. David hates it. This is usually where I sit and I make so much noise.
Oh,
So
I know
trust
this.
me, you're
I
doing
know he hates it because that was part of the podcast.
Did she hit the mic
Oh.
during it?
during the
Yeah.
podcast?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, so I should point the reverberation at the mic.
Okay.
Crazy.
Isn't that trippy?
Yeah.
I know. I really like it. Dum. And then you have another one.
Yeah, the Ngoni.
She has an Ngoni.
Okay, so my Ngoni is a little out of tune. She comes out of tune every time. Can you reach her from there? I don't think so.
Steph's more locked in.
She's more.
Yeah.
Your chord will reach.
Stuck in this chair. It's all right.
Almost dropped the Ngoni.
Oh, look at
It's
this
not
set.
all right. This thing is very expensive.
Oh, for you. I thought you were talking about like for a
Is
wall.
there something in your
I
Ngoni?
don't give a shit about you.
It's raining in Ngoni.
That is calabash fibers. So this is a squash, and that's fibers from the inside of the squash.
I'm allergic to squash.
He's lying.
Oh, it's like all squash. Let's
Just some
squash that.
Just some squish squash.
Squash that right
Squish,
now.
squash.
Turn it towards her, Steph.
Oh yeah.
No, you're good.
Well,
Wherever you're comfortable.
The output's right here, so
Okay.
that will get the best sound.
You can always turn it down too, Steph. if you
I
need
know. Do you want me to?
to. I hear. That is awesome fiddle.
Isn't that cool?
It's not a fiddle.
It's an ngoni.
It's an Ngoni
A
squash
fiddle
fiddle.
is a. Yeah, very different.
It's like a Viking.
It's beautiful.
This is
awesome.
I'm supposed to play it down here, so like that doesn't. This is like a very awkward way to play it. By the way,
I think you did great.
Fantastic.
yeah.
The ngoni.
The
This
Ngoni.
is my baby.
I could see why. She's very special. You said she was sent in from West Africa?
No, she was made on the farm actually.
In Tennessee?
So, yeah. Biko is a part of a band called Rising Appalachia, and Aruna is from Burkina Faso, and Biko brought him into the band to play Ngoni. But now Aruna lives in Arizona with his wife, and they are focusing full time on making Ngonis, balafons, which are like an African xylophone. It's
Cool.
banging. That's like one of my dream instruments, but it's so expensive. But Aruna and Biko are going to play their first set, just the two of them, at that festival at the farm.
That's cool.
Since like, God, I feel like it was like 2020 when they played this set, or maybe 2019, since the last time they played just a duo. And it's mostly Ngoni. And I'm telling you, it's so
It's
beautiful.
so beautiful.
It's
Hearing
so
you play it
beautiful.
was so pretty.
I'm telling you, you cannot see Aruna's hands move when he's playing.
Really?
And he has a callus on his thumb, like straight up. He has like a nub on
From
his
playing
thumb
it.
from playing. So he plays. So you can see that like I'm novice, I'm kind of novice level. So I play with these two fingers and this thumb, and then the next level is playing all four. So that's where like I'm practicing a lot lately, is figuring out how to stay consistent with the rhythm. He could play like six fingers. The thumbs are completely sideways.
Trippy.
You hear
down.
it like when you pluck it harder. You get more of that twang.
Twang.
Oh my god.
You'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Oh, this is really appropriate because I'm like newly gay. I didn't tell you this.
I didn't tell
I
you
will
either.
figure it out.
I was going to make a joke, but I was like, it's not my business. So she is newly gay.
Newly gay.
I was asking her some questions like, what's her name? Is she hot?
Are you-
You didn't ask me if she's hot. She is hot.
But you did. You told me she was.
Oh.
Remember, I asked you if she was butch.
No,
'Cause
you
you
didn't
said
ask me. You said she's butch. I'm like, she's masculine, but she's not butch.
Yeah, I learned the difference. That you can be
Yes.
butch,
Yeah.
but you can also be a feminine masculine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm learning. It's good.
Yes.
It's like
Thank you for
being a
educating me.
feminine dude or a masculine girl.
Yeah. And like I've always kind of been into feminine guys, and I didn't correlate it. I guess I'm bi. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
bi.
I mean, sure, whatever. I don't care.
Do you still like? Does the idea of a dick still excite you?
I mean, the idea of dick or vagina alone doesn't excite me at
Yeah.
all because again, I'm mostly asexual.
That's right. You did say that.
I'm like
Uh-huh.
mostly asexual, but like a person.
So we just found out that you have like 4 different things you're into: asexual,
So asexual.
bisexual,
Yeah.
and women.
Like sex isn't a huge thing. It's not like I'm so ignorant. I'm probably asking
Okay,
the
like
worst questions.
I don't know like how to yeah, there's so many identifiers nowadays, but like yeah, like you know, some people are just like they really like all guys or like all titties. I see people as people, and I don't see you or imagine your sexual organs, sir. I don't see you
Yeah.
or imagine your sexual organs, ma'am.
It's ma'am.
Oh, sorry. I don't ma'ams.
I'm sorry.
All right. Sorry. I will respect your pronouns.
Get out of my house.
Yeah. So, like my sibling is trans,
Uh-huh.
but then like decided to not do like they started doing hormones to become a boy, and then they didn't like it because it was affecting the mental health. So like they're still biologically female but identify as a he.
How old?
19 now. And then like they were saying that they're into girls before, but they've never been with a girl. You know, they're like conception. They're just figuring it out, you know? So now she's with a non-binary guy. So like the joke in my family is like technically she's still heterosexual. So like technically she's like more appropriate to my parents than I am
That's
because I'm
true.
like actually gay.
Technically, you're a girl with a guy. You just don't know your genders in your own brain.
Exactly.
You're changing them, but it's still kind of straight sex.
It's still straight. It's still biologically straight sex, so it's still more appropriate than me being gay.
Why can't you be more like your
Brother. My parents don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, do they mess it up all the time?
Well, yeah, and then like the harder part is that they are an identical twin
to you,
to my
I would say
sister.
19 years old doesn't make sense.
No. I have two. They have twin. They were born twin girls, and then one of them, and they're identical too. So, yeah, but like one of them is now a boy, and
That's fascinating. I love these conversations.
yeah, and
I find
You
it
like these
fascinating.
conversations?
Conversations.
I
I
like
like these
these
conversations. Conversations.
yeah. So it's really hard for like my stepdad that grew up in Alabama and my mom that grew up in the Philippines to like wrap their brains around. So it's just like funny, but
Like, we moved to Florida to get away from this shit.
they don't have any of that in Alabama. I don't know what you're talking
It's fascinating.
about.
But to me, I'm like, do
Oh,
whatever
from
you
the
want to
Philippines?
do.
Oh, there's a lot of trans.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
My cousin is trans, and then like they moved to Japan, but they needed to get their citizenship in Japan, so they married a woman and became a man for 2 years.
And then went back to being a female.
And then once they got their citizenship, they went back to being.
That's some real transformers right there.
Uh-huh.
That is dedication.
That's kind of fucked up, though.
Yeah.
I hope that the girl like knew.
It's probably right.
I
What,
don't
you think
know.
it was like a
Set up.
magic show?
What do you mean?
Like lied about their gender and it kept it hidden somehow?
Yeah, like, because it was so weird. Like, they were a girl for like a decade, and then suddenly they were on social media as a man, but I can't understand Japanese or Tagalog, so I have no idea what they're talking about.
You're just watching picture books trying to imagine.
Yeah,
what
I'm
it
just
is.
trying to translate all of this for myself.
Also, you did say newly gay, but you also were suggesting that you've always kind of been curious, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think like, you know, like especially middle school, like when my hormones were activating, I was watching a lot of anime, and anime's like
anime's hot.
anime's they've got a lot of titties, and I was
Well,
for it.
You're thinking of straight up hentai. She's just talking about.
No,
What are you talking about?
All
You said anime's hot.
yeah,
Anime is hot.
anime is hot.
the
There's
Dragon
High
Ball Z
School
that you like,
of
or
the
what?
Dead. It's like this
You are getting more and more Filipino as we speak.
High School of the Dead.
No, I'm just talking about
Wait,
watching anime.
What is that?
Indian
I know, what am I
High School
doing?
of the Dead. High School of the Dead, I tell you.
I tell you, it's fucked up. And then
tell you.
titties.
Oh my God, we're
There's
so
a bad
canceled.
scene.
We're so canceled. This
It's okay because I'm brown, so I'm allowed to do all of this.
True.
So it's my toenail.
Yeah, you know, your toenail and my skin are
Did you leave
brown,
the
so
bacon
we
on
are.
it?
I told her, I said, my toenail's not brown. I just have pine tar on it. She's like, what? I'm like, it's brown.
I
It's
thought she
not
was
dead."
saying a specific
dead.
disease.
I have brown
she's-
tar toe.
As she's touching the toe, she's like, what? What is this?
I thought
thing?
she said like pine sore. Like I was like,
She's like, it's dead. It's dead. Toenail.
Nick,
It's
is it
dead.
infectious? Because again, the foot stuff is
Yes.
scary.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to end up with a hand disease.
Yeah, I know. Or like E. coli.
Yeah, or E. coli. Can you get that from foot disease?
If that brown toe was in the brown butthole.
Oh,
Brown butt.
Brown butt. We are talking a lot of butts on this
A lot of
podcast.
you
butts.
know, we are not ashamed
Nope.
of the peach
We
game.
ain't scared.
Okay,
Say peach game?
Yeah, peach game.
Just don't find the core.
Is that poop?
Is that the butthole?
When you cut a peach in half, you know how like brown and centered.
That looks like a butthole.
Am I thinking apricots? Is it a peach?
No, peaches have a seed.
They have a seed
Yeah,
too.
like a big old
But,
brown.
like,
What are you doing with your eyes?
Just looking at
So
you.
weird.
Can anything see that one?
Everything can
That's
see
so-
us.
Oh, great. That
All angles.
Big old.
All right. All
get
right.
me.
All right.
I think that's a poop reference.
Yeah. There's a turd sitting in the
yeah.
end. Well, that's a shitty way to end the podcast, but let's wrap this thing up.
Okay, yeah, I love it.
We'll do another one though.
Yes,
Cool.
I feel
This is
many
funny.
of these will happen.
Yeah, I like this.
They're fun, right?
What's going on with you going forward? Any events or anything you're playing at or being a part of that people can
Where can
reach
people
out?
find
and where
you?
can they find
Oh,
you?
cool. I am on Instagram at bodyworkbev or Light Honey Sound and Healing. I'm also Light Honey Sound Healing, soundandhealing.com. And I perform at a facility in Santa Rosa Beach called Sculpted Personal Training Studio. And there's a couple other places that I'm looking at potentially booking sound journeys in this next year. But I also am available for privates. So fly me out to your location.
That's right.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. Bring me to your retreat. I will wow all of your guests.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All
We're
right,
already
Emerald
talking about
Coast, you hear it. Reach out to her.
Get some body work done, yo.
By Bev.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
Clay.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning
Thank
in to
you.
Shifting Focus. We out.